Hello there and welcome to this video. It is February, the month of, I don't know why I giggled. It's the month of love, okay? I love love. I've always celebrated Valentine's Day. Always. Me who's single AF, I always have, whether it's just wishing my parents happy Valentine's Day. Like the love that I have for my siblings and then back to me, my nieces and nephews, my friends. I love love. But of course, I do realize, or we all know, that the emphasis is always on a spouse or partner and the like. And this, like, there's a whole bunch of pressure. It's always been there. Okay, the pressure has always gotten worse, the month of February. And I wanted to do like a series of videos in February for us singles. Unsolicited. You don't want my opinion, but I'm here to give it anyways. And I honestly hope most of you will enjoy this series. Those of you who watch, you could be single or not. I just thought it would be fun. Like, it would be fun to just chit chat and kind of relate. And even if you don't relate, maybe we might learn something new. We might, bounce some, you know, ideas off of each other and the like. But yeah, today's video is going to focus. So today I'm addressing my Christian girlies, okay? My beloved Christian girlies. I am a Christian woman, but it's not going in the direction that you think it is. This is more of like me having observed a whole bunch of cautionary tales, and I'm a woman's woman. Like, I'll always be a woman's woman. I want women to win, and it's kind of alarming and very, very sad. And again, me even saying what I'm about to say, like, if at all somebody is affected and they hear this, there's 100% chance that they won't do anything to change. But I'll say it anyways, just in case someone internalizes something that I say, and hopefully it might. Okay, look at me saying change your life for the better, but I just hope it will be beneficial for you. So, I have no idea um, what I'm going to title this video, but today I'm speaking about one particular type of dynamic when it comes to relationships. So, I'm Zambian. In case you're new here, I'm a Zambian woman. It's a small country in southern Africa, beautiful country and everything. And we have Zambian women are beautiful. Like, we have gorgeous women here. We are so underrated. Like, I don't know why we've been scammed by our own society into thinking we are less than. But yeah, like, please, like, Zambian women are beautiful, okay? And we just get scammed left, right. Like, we're the ones fighting for our lives to feel worthy. But yeah, I'll get into that soon. So yes, today's video is me just having a kiki or chit-chatting with the Christian girlies or just the Christian ideas. You can also listen in if you aren't, and then let me know what you think. But there is this, not there is, there's always been, this ideal or perception of what you should do, how you should conduct yourself in order to be chosen. And even like even this thing of being chosen, like, that's, like, the core issue I want to discuss in this video. This aspect, sorry, like I'm using random English words now, but this aspect of being chosen and how detrimental it might be to a lot of young women. Like, I'm going to talk about young women because it's something that most of us would observe. It could have been our grandparents, it could have been people in our parents' generation. Like, we all kept thinking it's something that the older generation is dealing with and that they've internalized, and it can't be us. But then, like I said, oh, have I said that in this video yet? Yeah, but I'm a 30-year-old woman. I'm literally weeks away from turning 31. I feel like I'm officially grown now, but I'm now seeing it with people my age and also younger, where it could be the church, it could be tradition. We are raised and conditioned to to mold ourselves, to make ourselves the best version of what we can be in order to be chosen by a spouse. Because yeah, like I said, this is for the Christian girlie, so the ultimate goal is marriage, not just a life partner or boyfriend, in order to get chosen. And lots of women, quote unquote, succeed in doing that. You get chosen. You like I see a lot of Zambian women put in so much work. They put in so much work. they have to be beautiful, they have to be prayerful, they have to run a home, they have to bear children, they have to be intelligent, they have to do so many things. And half the time it looks like men just show up, like you just show up as a man. And like even through like the traditional teachings, like there's so much that women have to do. Oh, by the way, apologies for the ghetto setup once more. I have bought a mic. I'm just waiting for it to arrive. I realized I didn't address that before. If you've come this far, like 5 minutes, thank you. But yes, like there's there's this gross imbalance in how women have to conduct themselves. Like you doing so much to get chosen. People make content, they tell their friends this: if you want to get picked, if you're single, change your ways, change your attitude. And honestly, I endorse that. Like if you're a horrible person, do better. Like not just to you know get yourself into a romantic relationship or marriage, but just any relationship in your life. So yeah, my point here and the message that I want to convey is that in as much as we, women put a lot of work into making themselves you know great women in order to be chosen, sometimes you aren't really winning. Sometimes, yes, people get chosen by by amazing men, but I am seeing a lot of Christian women fall into this pit. And it's a pit that they've always fallen into, but I'm just like, no, 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 no. Even our generation, even girls younger than this, like maybe in the past, people were brainwashed. You felt like you didn't have options. But I want us to be smarter enough. Just smarter, believe in ourselves, and I'll get into that later. But I am seeing a lot of women continue to fall into this pit of you've been chosen, you've gotten married, but what exactly are you benefiting from? Like are you happy? And yes, people are like, forget happiness. Like I saw some people do say forget happiness, like as long as you're married. Like there's so much worth in being a wife as a Christian woman, even though there's a whole niche of Christian women who choose not to get married and fulfill their purpose in life. God's plan for them, I was about to say, I swear, I I literally tell you that they exist, but nobody wants to talk about those women. Those women are shamed, which is so odd because the Christian faith is honestly a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's just a bunch of bad eggs who ruin it for everybody. But yeah, I'm rambling. The point I'm trying to make here is that in as much as women will get engaged, they'll have the church wedding, there'll be a wife and everything, I have seen the male's perspective as they are choosing the women who they want to marry. Not all of them, but a good number of them are absolute heathens. Um, Hi, editing Chita here. I just thought I should add this in. I realized that I kept misusing the term heathen throughout my video. I wanted to apologize. Okay, I'm not shaming people who aren't Christian. There's some wonderful people out there. So going forward, each time I use the word heathen, just imagine or picture that I'm talking about trifling men, which is what I was actually trying to say. Okay, absolutely. And this is the thing. I'm kind of, I know I said I'm a Christian woman. Or did I say that in this video? I don't know. By the way, like this is the second time I'm trying to film this. Like one of my neighbors' daughters had a meltdown, so I had to stop and scratch that footage. But yeah, I am saying this from the point of view of somebody who has relatives, even just friends. Okay, though I don't have a lot of friends who are like that. Like a few, they're more like acquaintances who I know so well. And it keeps happening where the most trifling person, like literally men who are for the community, if you know what I mean. They're for the community, and then you hear they're getting married, and I'm just like, who are they marrying? Like literally, who is marrying that man? Like you know how they are, and they're like absolutely disgusting people in that regard. And then I meet the fiancés or their spouses, or I see them, and then I understand. Like I swear it's like a whole epidemic of F boys who are marrying Christian women. I know there's some person who's just like they deserve it because they're always shaming us online and making us feel less than. It's not all of them. Of course, there are some annoying ones. But some just innocently go into that because they're influenced, they're conditioned to think that once you get chosen by a man, Like that's it, like you've made it. And it's so unfair. It's literally so unfair. And on paper, like I said, like people think, you know, it's just cheating. And the fact that people just trivialize, yes, quite all right. People say monogamy is unrealistic, etc., whatnot. But the way in which F-boy Zambian men do it is so disrespectful. It's extremely disrespectful. Not only is it disrespectful to their spouses, it's also dangerous towards their health. Like the number of times I have read comments in people's TikTok videos, even just YouTube videos of women complaining about how they've had so many STDs given to them by their cheating spouse, but they're praying for change. It's not funny. It's not, and that's why I've come. Like, it really isn't funny. Like, it's so dangerous, you guys. And each time I read these comments, I'm just like, I would be a statistic in domestic homicide. It's I'm not endorsing killing your husbands. Like, please, like, if someone upsets you, just move on. But I'm just saying, like, it's not above me. It's not above me. How, like, it's one thing fine, you're getting cheated on. Someone is literally putting your health at risk, and you stay and you keep praying for this person. Like, I had this conversation recently with like one of my friends. Like, if she watches this, she was just like, you can't spend 3 quarters of your life praying for your husband. Like, when are you going to have time to pray for yourself? And it's true. It's literally true. And I do not understand. I don't get it. And that's like the next thing that I want to talk about, of how, what is your benefit in this union? Like, I feel like sometimes we need to sit back as women and really, really look at the bigger picture. This isn't 100 years ago or 50 years ago, and I'm going to touch on this on a different video one day. But sometimes you are literally carrying the whole relationship. You could have your own money, you could have your own career, your own business, like you have your life in order, but you're literally carrying the entire relationship. And somebody has shown you time and time and time again that they do not respect your core values, your stance, and where your moral compass is. Theirs is this side, yours is this side. And you still choose to stay. And I swear, like, I know women, like, of course, there's some people who can't get out. Like, it's very, very difficult. And I'm not going to trivialize how difficult it is to leave a man or husband who supports you and everything. Like, it's difficult, especially when there are kids involved. But some people are literally carrying the entire marriage, but they would rather die. They would rather be dead than get a divorce. Like, they can just not imagine themselves being a single woman. And I'm saying this, I know, like, it sounds ridiculous. I feel like I'm just, exaggerating things, and it can't be you and everything. But it starts from somewhere. People don't just wake up age 65 in a 40-year long marriage, miserable, it's loveless, it's been abusive, they've gotten nothing out of it. Like, you, you don't just wake up like that. It always starts somewhere. And again, like, these are conversations that I've had with my friends and my sisters. Like, it always starts from somewhere. You will start with, oh my gosh, like, I need to get chosen, I need to mold myself, I need to get picked by a man, I need to be a wife, as long as he's a man and everything. Like, and again, like, why are you getting scammed? Like, if you have core values, like women, like we know, of course, yeah, like, some men will be trifling and utterly, like, blindside you. But sometimes, or most of the time, like, we know, like, we have that female intuition, which is so true. Like, we know this is the type of person that I'm marrying. But I don't know why you think just because you've been given attention, and first of all, like, they're literally giving you attention because they want to marry you. They know you have such a high tolerance for stupidity. Like, your tolerance is up here for nonsense. In fact, they even go out of frame. It's up there. It's above and beyond. You will not easily make them accountable for the random things that they do. You blame the devil, like it's the devil's fault, and you need to pray for this. Like, it's not funny. Like, you need to pray really hard, fast and pray for your marriage, fast and pray for your husband. By the way, I'm not saying people shouldn't be praying for this. Like, please do it. Like, let's all pray for our loved ones. But I'm talking about people who are shown, this is a human being who has made the conscious decision to disrespect you, to put your health at risk, to put your life at risk. and you're saying no, it's a devil. Like, no. Can we start holding grown-ups accountable? That's the first thing. So now let's go back to being chosen or being picked. Like, you might feel like you've been chosen. All these other fast girls, all these other lazy women, like, they picked you because you are the one who is a Proverbs 31 woman. Okay. They're picking you because you have such a high tolerance. Like, also, like, evaluate the man who's like let's look at the bigger picture. Someone might say something to you, they might make all sorts of promises, but look at the bigger picture. Can we please look at the bigger picture? Like, it's like, it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. So yeah, you're in it, you get married, because like I said, it doesn't just happen overnight. Maybe they're nice to you before. Some of you even see the signs during your engagement, but you're like, once we get into it, we'll pray over it. I'll pray over it. I'm a praying woman. I can pray everything away. Even though God has given us common sense and God wants us to win, and I'll get into that later. It always starts with something. So it might be one thing, and somebody will just keep pushing the boundaries and pushing the boundaries, and something that you thought you wouldn't tolerate, all of a sudden you tolerate because you pray it away. You're going to discuss it, or a man will be a man. He's the head of the house. I shouldn't question it. Like, I don't get it. And I know some people who don't know or haven't seen this think it's wild. Like, it happens all the time, and we're all just mind boggled as to how people stay in these situations. So yeah, I just wanted to point this out because, like I said, we're in the month of February, and that will be the theme of these videos. Lots of single women want to get married. Like, I get it. I am very comfortable with being single, and I have been for many, many years. But I have friends who want to get married. They're now in the, like, first of all, me and all my friends are now in our 30s. Like, we're in our 30s. Like, it's something that they've dreamed about. Like, by now they should have had 3 kids. They should have been married. And there's a bit, like, a tinge of desperation. I get it. But is it really worth your peace? Is it really worth your life if you get into something? And I don't know why people think it will sort itself out. Like, somebody will just straighten and like they'll eventually fall in love with me, and yeah, like, they'll like me better, they'll treat me better once I grow on them. If somebody isn't nice to you during courtship and at the very beginning of your marriage, they'll be 10 times worse as time goes by. Like, people just become more and more annoying. All those butterflies just become less and less. Like, I see people talk about it all the time, that if you, for in order for a marriage to last long, you have to put in work. Like, all that lovey-dovey nonsense kind of withers away. It's still there, but then you actively have to, like, you have to make the conscious effort to keep waking up and loving somebody and wanting to stay with them. And if someone already married you for the wrong reason, they just wanted a spouse to take care of them, a spouse to make them look good at their jobs, or for to get promotions, because that's the thing in our culture. I don't know about other countries, but I had this discussion with, again, my friends and my sisters, and it is so true. Like it's actually again, like, men have so much to gain in marriage. People will look at you, ask you if you are a member of a church. Like, if you're an elder in a church, you have that community to back you up, as well as a wife that they can point at, and even preferably children. They will deem you as trustworthy. Like, if you can run a home, you can run a company or a business, whatever position that it is. So it's at an advantage. So some men are literally marrying you to make themselves look good and nothing else. And nothing else, you guys. And let's stop getting scammed. So yes, my point is, I know people are in positions where they feel like they're running out of time, they want to have children, but trust me, okay? Trust me on this. Like, I have seen people literally waste a decade, 15 years, 20 years, and then get out of a marriage. Granted, they might come out of it with kids, sometimes they don't, but you end up feeling like, I literally gave my youth to this person. And ask yourself this, like, would you rather take a risk and be with somebody who irritates you, where you're together until he dies, or you kill him? Please don't kill anybody. Or you eventually break up because you reach a point where, like, you've reached your limit and you just want to get out, or you get left. It's always 3 options: either they die, they leave you, which honestly, sometimes when I hear that somebody has left, like somebody's problematic husband has left them for a side chick, like I actually say like a little prayer on the inside. Of course, I don't externalize it, but I'm just like, thank you, God, for answering our prayers. In fact, this the said woman being in her war room praying for a marriage, like I was about to say, I swear, I'm telling you guys, sometimes it's God actually looking out for you and answering your prayers by making this man leave you because you are never going to leave. So it's either they die, they leave you, or you leave yourself. And do you really want to waste 10, 15, 20, 30 years with somebody who will make you miserable just because you're afraid of being alone or single? And sometimes you're like, I've waited for so long, it is what like find women, not bitter old women who, because yeah, some people really are bitter. But find people who are older, like they exist, and they're always the quiet ones. They're quiet, living peaceful lives. Learn from them. And even those who might be, yes, like the wait is exhausting. You might feel so much pressure watching people get engaged, especially in the month of February. Okay, people will be getting engaged left, right, and center every single weekend. But if you are not in a good relationship, like even if you're in a relationship and you're this Christian girl who's found yourself a heathen, who goes to church once every 5 years but has picked you, or even if they go to church but you know they're trifling in the background and you just need to get married, like have a very, very serious conversation with yourself, have a board meeting with yourself, as I call it when I'm having board meetings with myself, and ask yourself whether is it worth it, is it like what are you going to gain out of it, as opposed to just having everybody else's opinion, as to, oh, you're finally married. Do you want to waste the next 10, 15 years of your life, or are you willing to just wait a little longer and trust God or the universe? Okay, no, not the universe. You don't believe in the universe, and trust God to send the right person to you, or for you to find the right person. Like, God actually loves us. He loves us a lot, and we underestimate. Like some of us underestimate him, and that's the next segue I'm going to make, and that is, I don't know why people feel so much pressure to become a wife and to get married to literally anybody. Okay, yes, we might, be raised to feel like you need to be a wife and everything. It's very fulfilling. But the God that you serve and the God that I serve is an almighty God. And I'm just like, I'm one of God's faves. Yes, bad things happen every now and then where we feel like, okay, I'm not about to say what I was about to say. But yeah, I feel like we serve a living God who loves us. Like God literally wants the best for us. God doesn't want you to suffer at the hands of another human being. And if you're in a relationship, again, if it's very difficult, if you don't have the financial means to go out or to get out, that's a different story. But if you're voluntarily staying in a situation that is not good for you, and especially if there are not even any kids involved, like why are you still there? Or if you're looking for literally anybody to, you know, just give you time or attention, when that attention, like I'm not saying all attention is bad. Like love is a beautiful thing. There's some really good Christian men out there. If that's what you want, well, I'm assuming it's what you want. If you're Christian, you want to have a Christian marriage. Like just like, yes, indeed, pray over it. Use discernment, and sometimes like you are told blatantly, but you just insist. Okay, you just insist. Like God is trying to tell you something, but you're insisting on just being a wife. Look out for yourself. Look out for your peace of mind. Look out for your health. Okay, like I am so tired. Like I'm sick and tired of watching so many people. Okay, great women. Like I don't know. Like, is it low self esteem? My sister says sometimes it's low self esteem because again, what's even wilder? Like, find there's the everyday person, and then there's the people who've built brands online as my king, man of God, this and that. Like, we all know your husband is running around town. And it's so, like, the secondhand embarrassment that we feel when we see these women publicize these men who have zero shame in embarrassing them all the time. Like, what is it for? Literally, what is it for? And they will shove it down people's throats. I've seen, okay, now like I'm getting a bit personal. Some of you might know who I'm talking about. But I honestly stand by it because it's so wrong. Like you literally have a partner who is constantly embarrassing you. And it's not your fault, but you just insist on praying for this person who will never change. And that's something else. You can't pray everything away. I know we are told to believe God can answer all prayers, but not everything we want is good for us. Honestly, truly, not everything we want is good for us. And I have come, it may not even be a spouse who's abusive or just a horrible human being. I know people, it could be people in my family if I may not be. Yeah, sometimes it's people's spouses, okay, who are absolutely problematic. They're married to prayer warriors, like they have been praying for the past 35 years, okay? And if somebody doesn't want to change, they will not change. And you need to release yourself from that sort of bondage, or just not get yourself into a situation where that will be your life. Honestly, truly, as everybody is getting engaged, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, even as you seek a partner. Look out for yourself. And honestly, like I said, like it's so sad, and that's why I've made this video to address people who keep getting scammed by the F boys. And you know what? Sometimes, like, I feel sorry for people up to a certain extent. If you get into it and it's all you've like, it's all you know, it's all you've been taught. Like, just get married, conduct yourself, and it's up to you to save your marriage, which in itself is very problematic because if that man cheats, if that man is abusive, it's somehow your fault. Like you aren't doing your wifely duties well, or you aren't praying hard enough for you. Like that in itself is problematic. But I'm back now. I can feel sorry for people who get into it because it's all that they've known, and it's all that they don't know any better, and they think it's their fault. And yes, I will be upset with the men who literally go out and are predators towards women who are highly naive and just have this high tolerance for stupidity. Like, yes, in the initially, I'm mad at them. Like, it's a bad thing. But if you could choose to stay and you can come out, like, you can literally get out. You can, like, the same way you took care of yourself before you married this person is the same way you can continue to date. Like, if you choose to stay in that relationship, it's kind of your fault now. It's literally, again, like I said, some people are in very toxic, abusive relationships, or they just don't have money. That's different. But if you can get out, but you're just still trying to pray away your marital problems and you stay there, like you're literally forcing somebody who has made it very clear that they will not change. That's on you. That's on you now. So yeah, I'm going to end this video by saying I'm not hating on, Christian marriages, even though a lot of them are a scam and a sham. There are some who do it well, and I just want to encourage you, okay? Don't like lose hope. Of course, it's very difficult to find people these days. Like we wonder where they are, but don't let anybody talk down your core values. Like if you're not hurting anybody, and if it's something that you're believing, something that fulfills you and gives you, happiness and peace, your Christian faith, don't let anybody talk you down. Because that's the thing as well of Christian values at work and everything. Believe in, like, continue to believe in that. Like, that's your faith. That's what takes you to bed peacefully at night. That's what wakes you up in the morning. That's what gets you through the day. Continue to believe in that. And you can find someone who has the exact same core values as you do. Just like use your brain sometimes. Sorry, okay, that came off mean, but you can like you can literally tell just because someone says something, just because somebody shows interest towards you, sometimes you can see through the BS. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's not possible, but even as you pick partners, you guys, like, can we be wise? Can we be like, I have been trying to do better for the past 10 years. I'll get to that you know, along the way with this month's videos. But yeah, it's possible. Don't give up. Okay. Honestly, scrutinize the person who you want to involve the church and the government with, because the government is also involved most of the time. Okay, like let's not continue to get scammed. It's very sad. And like I said, these are my opinions. People who are in these situations, even if they came across this video, will not leave those situations. In fact, they'll even pray harder. They'll even post their trifling husband harder on the internet. Okay, even though none of us want that marriage. And that's something else. Not like literally none of us want that marriage because it's so embarrassing to see. But yeah, please, ladies, love yourselves as well. Of course, everybody says that it's very difficult if you have dealing with self doubt, and I think I'll touch on that. I don't want to make these videos like an hour long. I want to keep them under 30 minutes. So yeah, like just keep watching. Maybe in like the next videos I might touch on self-love, which I know is such a cliche thing to say, but having a high sense of esteem, high self-esteem would definitely help you on this quest in even just scrutinizing certain people who you want to partner with. And it reminds me, I think this is where I'm going to close off because I absolutely loved this sermon. It was literally Christmas of last year, like December 2022. I went to church. I hadn't been to church in so long, but I went. I was like, it's Christmas Mass, I'm going. And I wasn't really expecting much. Like, I just went there for the sake of being there. But the priest honestly said something. Like I was in my seat. Like, if there was anybody who needed to hear that message, it was me. Like, I was just like, say it, say more, say more. Like, no, people say less. Is it just okay? No, no, but I wanted him to say more. Like I honestly, truly believed in what he said, and like I wouldn't have expected that in church. Like I'm telling you, but the priest gave the analogy of like the Virgin Mary, like Jesus' mother, and her immaculate conception. He's like most people don't like. There's so many interpretations of the immaculate conception, the birth of Christ, everything, Christ our Savior. But he's like not many people talk about how God purposely made Mary conceive, Jesus, like without a Joseph. She carried out her plan, you know, her purpose in life, to give the world the Son of God, like by herself without Joseph. Like Joseph came afterwards. And he's like, people tend to miss that. Like God has given you all the tools, all the power to carry out your like you literally do not need a Joseph. You don't need a partner. Like I was there in my seat, like, woo! But you know how Catholic church is like we don't really cheer on, but I was screaming on the inside. I was like, I needed to hear this. People needed to hear this. In church, a priest was telling us like God has given you all the tools to live a fulfilling, like on your own as a person. God makes you whole. God gave that absolute, like the ultimate example with the Virgin Mary. Like she didn't need a Joseph to carry out her purpose in life. And she gave us the Son of God, okay, all on her own. And then, of course, Joseph came afterwards. But that point needed to be made. And he was like, you too have all, like, God has given you all the tools. God loves you. God has literally has given you everything, all the power to carry out your purpose on your own with you. Like first and foremost, you can do anything that you want to on your own, and then everything else is just a partnership and like it's a collaboration. Okay, so believe that first, like truly believe it and acknowledge it, and then you can go forth and partner on and get married and everything. So this was, my bit my bit of a rough start to this February thing. Like I'm just testing out, talking videos. And like I said, hopefully I will have a mic in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy February. Like I said, like I love February. I love the month of love. I love it. I'm here for it. And you'll stay safe, honestly. I'll see you in the next video.